Hey there everybody, JB's back once again with part 6 of Let's Play Chips Challenge. Now in this level, I'm going to just take you around this outside area where there's really nothing around, but you can see all the action going on this inside area. As you can notice, there are a bunch of fireballs all going around, and our objective here is we gotta kill them by drowning them in the water located over here. See right there? Alright, so let's go ahead and get to work. Now, thankfully, they give you lots of blocks, so this really does help a lot. Now, there is a solution, which I also posted here on my profile, where you can just basically push one block through and power your way through the whole thing, but this is, I think, a lot more fun. Well, both are fun in their own respects. Now, remember in the last video when I was contrasting On the Rocks and Blob Nuts and how both of them were like fun in their own way, but not in another way? Well, I think this level is fun if you're optimizing or if you're playing just for fun. And levels like this are few and far between, I gotta admit. So this is one reason why I really enjoy this level quite a bit. It's all because of that. You can have a good time playing if you're just going and casually going through a level, and you can also have fun too, even if you're trying to get the bold time. Okay, so this section here, I'm just going to push the block right there. And, oh wait, that didn't do anything, did it? No, what we want to do, we want to create a little bit of chaos over here. Come on, there we go. Alright, so now, I'm hoping that will distract them long enough that they will go over here and hopefully provide enough room for us to get over to this area. Alright, I think okay, they're gonna just go around here, and I'm just trying to make sure I don't get hit by any one of them. Alright, so now, whoa, okay. There we go. Alright, not too bad. We weren't able to take too long on that. Or, we didn't take too long on that. That kind of sounded weird. We weren't able to take too long on that. Anyway, next level, ladder. If you go over here, you don't want to go to the left right away because you will get stuck. That's your ticket out of a later section. In fact, you can look right here and you can see that if you tried going there, you'd get stopped by that tank. So you don't want to try that. Instead, you want to go down this ladder type of area, which I believe is the ladder that the title talks about. Although there are other areas of this level that do resemble ladders too, so it's possible that it's referring to multiple ones. So just get all these chips, and be careful not to run through too many pop-up walls. The same thing goes with here with this sideways ladder. Get another blue key, and as you can see the exit's down here guarded by a red door. So we need that red key up at the very top before we can proceed any further, along with 3 chips. So let's go ahead and do that, and we should be ready to go and exit the level. Now you'll want to be quick with that first tank button press like I just did there. And, oops, we need to press that green button again. There we go. Let me go ahead and press this trap button there. And now we gotta alternate toggle walls while pushing these blocks to get down through these traps. Now this section is really fun if you're playing in Lynx mode because you can actually slide through all the traps in Lynx, which kind of makes them like ice when they're open. But in Microsoft, you can't do this, which is a real bummer. I know, it's kind of a shame. I really wish you could trap slide in Microsoft too. But, oh well. At least in Microsoft, we get some really cool bugs that you can exploit, depending on who you're talking to. And as we go up here, we'll find another button, and another set of traps. So yeah, because of the trap sliding, I believe this level, and there's one other level later on that is faster in Lynx because of monster movement or something like that. These 2 levels are the only ones that are faster in Lynx than in Microsoft. Alright, so we're almost to the very end. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now this last trap button up here, you have to be quick in getting this chip if you want to survive. And we're pretty much done with that whole area, and we can just use this path over here to proceed down to the exits. So just take this last set of pop-up walls and claim victory. Alright. Now we move on to Seeing Stars, which is a pretty long block pushing level, but not too long. The key thing here is you don't want to waste blocks, you just want to use one block for each set of 2 chips. If you do this and you don't push any blocks into corners or anything, you should be alright. Now, the fun thing about this level is that if you look at it, a map of it, and you look at it all zoomed out, you can see some pretty cool designs here among these chip areas and these block areas. It's like this one kind of looks like a snowflake. In fact, they kind of look more like snowflakes than stars. At least I kind of think they do, but maybe that's just me. And over here, we can continue using our blocks to get more chips. And we have 2 extra blocks left in this first area. One that we can see and one that's in the beginning area. But over here, we have to use more. And well, actually, wait a minute. This area might look more like a snowflake. It's got 6 little spoke things here with the chips. And yeah, I'm trying not to make this too boring. I'm hoping this is not too boring, but block pushing can only be so much fun. I gotta admit, this is one of those games where if you do an LP of it, it might look a little bit tedious at first, but when you're actually playing it, pushing blocks around isn't quite so, isn't quite so bad, like, unless it's a level where it's just really, really, really long, but this level is not really long, at least compared to On the Rocks or anything like that. It just takes a little while, but it doesn't really take too long, though. In fact, we're down to 24 chips, which qualifies as basically 12 areas that we have to go to. And now 11. And now 10. Alright. Cool. Alright, we've got 16 chips left. And we're going to tackle this last section, which is probably the longest section, because there are no blocks over here, and we have to bring our old blocks all the way to this area. So yeah, in case you're wondering if I'm going to finish my other LPs of 3D Ultra Mini Golf and Fury Cubed, I will eventually. But I kind of wanted to just get started on this one first. But I'm hoping to get to the point where I'll record several missions on Fury Cubed and be able to upload them alongside these videos. So do be watching for that in the future, if you're keeping up with my Fury Cubed LP, that is. Now, one thing that I haven't mentioned so far in this Chips Challenge LP is that there was a sequel that was going to be released called Chips Challenge 2, naturally, but it never got released, unfortunately, because of some complicated issues. And sadly, it still has not been released to this day, which is a real shame because there were several things I was really looking forward to in that game. There are several new features, like they had blocks made out of ice where if you push them into fire they turn to water, and if you push them into water they turn to ice and such. Yeah, like they had several cool things like that, and I don't know, I really wish they released that because it had so many cool features. But the good thing is that Chuck Somerville, who was the CC1 designer I talked about in the last video, is developing another game similar to it called Chuck's Challenge, which will be released on the iOS, the iPhone, iPod Touch, and iPad here in the near future. And there's also an open source game called Puzzle Studio, which is being developed, which implements several features from Chips Challenge 2. Not all of them, but several of them. So I'm hoping that either one of those games will be released at some point soon, because it would be fun to have another game kind of like Chips Challenge to play around with. Alright, we're pretty much done. All we have to do is just walk back to the beginning where the exit awaits. Now, thankfully, the next level is not very long at all, and as you'll see here in a sec, we get nice open rooms to go through. Check this out. Yeah, pretty spiffy, isn't it? Now, the basic objective of this level is it's all about item swapping, and you have to go through 2 different teleport circuits to find what you're supposed to get. So in various rooms, you have to trade one item for another. Now, the next item, I believe, is in this circuits. Yeah, here we go. We have to get a chip. So naturally, the next thing we have to look for is a chip sockets, which is right over here. So we got a red key, which will allow us to get through a red door. And that might be in the same circuit as the sockets. Yeah, here we go, right here. And thankfully these monsters are not very hard to deal with. And I believe both of these next items are in the same circuit too. Fire boots, and then over here we got flippers, which are guarded by a tank, so just be careful. And finally, we get to face off against our good old buddy, the teeth monster. Now, we can't actually drown him right here. One interesting thing that I haven't pointed out yet is that in Lynx mode, you can't stand on water when an enemy is going to die there, because you'll get killed as it gets killed there. So yeah, I'm not sure why that is, but you can't do that in Lynx mode. Alright, so sampler completed, and the next level is quite a bit of fun. It's called GLUT, and essentially there are 2 ways to solve this. You can go through to the middle and just go to this exit, which is very easy, but I want to take some risks, so I'm going to go back and try doing this the slightly more difficult way. Just lure a teeth monster out, wait, and go back in. Alright, not too much of a difficult level. Now in this level, we're going to be sliding around and getting tons of boots to help us out with the various elements. Now I don't know why it's called FLOORGASBORG, because I'm guessing this is a pun of, or wordplay on smorgasbord, which ends in a D, so I don't really know why this is the case, but anyhow. Get these fire boots first, and you'll need to slide in the force floors properly to do this. And you can go up here and slide more, but there's also a fake wall that was located at the very bottom of that fire path up there, which I wasn't able to show you, but anyway. And up here we get some, these things are called random force floors. But we can just use the suction boots to get right into the exits. Now, in Microsoft, it actually is possible to slide backward on those force floors next to the exit because you're sliding into them if you use the random force floors properly. In Lynx, you can't do that, so in Lynx you would have the suction boots. But in Microsoft, this is not the case. It actually should be noted that in Lynx, random force floors are not actually random. They actually cycle through all the directions. And they do this according to what steps on them, too. So, for instance, if, Chip slides on one and it goes up, and he goes up through it, and then a monster slides on one and it goes to the right, then Chip will slide down on the next one, and so forth. Okay, so speaking of directions, this hint here tells us that there are 2 teleport direction sequences, RDUL and LULU, and these refer to directions. So go to right on the first one, R stands for right, and D stands for down, U stands for up, and L stands for left. So as you can see, I went down right there, and I'm going to go up right here. See, as long as you follow the directions, this level becomes a lot easier, and you don't have to worry about guessing where you need to go. Now, if you do get a wrong, make a wrong move, so we're going to do Lulu right here, or LULU. If you do make a wrong move, you'll end up in one of these blob areas that you see here outside of the areas you need to go to. So you'll want to be careful not to go to those areas. And we're almost out of time, so I'm hoping we'll finish with plenty of time left. Alright, almost there. This area has a lot of stuff, by the way. Alright, 6 remaining. 4 remaining, and just one more group of 4 to get. The hardest part of this is probably the bug circuit that you have to deal with at the beginning, but other than that, if you get past that, you're pretty much gonna be A-OK. Alright, until next time, JB saying goodbye and thanks for watching.